the Shiv Sena may be advised to throw in the towel, but they continue to fight. Sanjay Raut has made it very clear the time for talks is over. Shiv Senics are now on the streets, and this fight will happen not just on the floor of the House, but also on the streets, sir.
Being the constitutional head of the state, it is Honorable CM's responsibility to see that law and order is maintained in Maharashtra, and he is solely responsible for this. And I think Uddhav Sahib is a very strict administrator, and as a CM of Maharashtra, he will control what is going on the streets, and he will advise. I'll also request him to advise Sanjay Raut ji to not to make such comments. Had such comment made by any opposition party, by this time police could have taken action against them. But since he is a representative of the ruling party, I think Uddhav Sahib should tell him not to make such statements by which violence has erupted in Mumbai, and Mumbai is a financial capital of India. Okay. And Mumbai's progress should not be hampered in any case, and that is the duty of Honorable CM.
Deepak Kesarkar, you heard both Uddhav Thackerat and his son Aditya Thackerat. The impression is that, you know, they've been stabbed in the back by insiders. Aditya Thackerat says outsiders who joined the party or who became a part of the alliance just 2.5 years ago, they are still with the Maha Agadhi, and insiders have abandoned them. It's the lure of the lucre, sir. It's for a few rupees more, sir.
Do you believe that statement? Because who broke Shiv Sena 3 times? Honorable Pawar sir has broken Shiv Sena. Has he forgotten the history, what has happened previously? And you are saying he is loyal to Shiv Sena. I don't want whatever statement he wants to make, but don't forget the history. He is instrumental in bringing Chhagan Bhujbal into his party, and Honorable Chhagan Bhujbal has used very insulting words against Babasaheb Thackerat. Can anybody forget that? The person who loves Babasaheb will never forget it. And in spite that, due to some compulsions, you have made an alliance with them, they should have been loyal to you. They are supporting the number 2 candidate in each constituency, in each parliamentary constituency. They are supporting the person who is defeated, and they are trying to finish Shiv Sena. Have you ever studied this? And
so you are saying it's the NCP and the Congress that's trying to finish the Shiv Sena. The Uddhav camp says it's actually the BJP that's trying to finish the Shiv Sena, and you are siding with the BJP, sir, or the Eknath Shinde faction is siding with the BJP. You know, Sanjay Raut says you wake up and sleep on the commands of BJP leaders.
Is it possible? 5 years we were together. We have fought the election together. This election also we were together. Then how Shiv Sena was not finished? Shiv Sena is still very much in power. There was a dispute on who should become the CM, and Uddhav Sahib was telling that BJP has agreed for 50-50%, that is 2.5 years. That didn't come through, and that was the dispute between Shiv Sena and BJP. There was no question of finishing anybody. We were still partners in Maharashtra, but whatever decision Uddhav Sahib has taken, we have taken it in the true spirit. We have supported that decision. But after that, what act was there from NCP and Congress, and NCP has broken Shiv Sena 3 times. In spite of that, if you call them friends, they are truly friends for me, because I was a part of NCP earlier. I respect them. But whatever they have done against Shiv Sena, nobody should forget that. And that's why if you rely totally on them, I don't know what is the future of Shiv Sena then. People
Deepak
like us,
Kesarkar, the Congress seems to indicate that of how many leaders do you have with you of the Shiv Sena, how many MLAs of the Shiv Sena in Guwahati? Because Congress seems to indicate that some of them are actually emissaries of Uddhav Thackerat, trying to woo at least 21. That's the figure that Sanjay Raut seemed to indicate. 21 Shiv Sena MLAs in Guwahati want to come back to the Uddhav Thackerat fold, and this so-called, the Eknath Shinde Sena will collapse the moment there's a floor test, sir.
Then let them have the floor test. Why are you disqualifying people who are elected by the people of Maharashtra? Why you are afraid of floor test? We are ready for the floor test. let peace come back to Maharashtra. All of us will come there. We'll give a floor test. We are not at all afraid about floor test. And Pawar Sahib has mentioned that there should be a floor test. Then go for the floor test. Why are you telling that you are coming on the street? You are burning the offices. You are burning the homes of MLAs who are elected by the people. Why you are doing that? Don't you have a faith in the democracy? Then keep that faith intact. That is what I want to tell them.
Sir, what are your numbers right now? How many MLAs are supporting Eknath Shinde?
They are more than two-thirds. They are 38. So you will have to accept the verdict. And few more are joining. So they are joining in spite of them loving you. Why you forget that they were your own men? And due to your decision of joining BJP and Congress, they were not satisfied. They are telling this to you for the last 1.5 years. Still, if you neglect them, then there was no other option left with them. Eknath Shinde was a staunch Shivsenik right from the beginning, from the days of Anand Dighe and Honorable Babasaheb Thackerat, who has groomed him as a leader of Thane. So, how he
Sir,
could
what is your roadmap, sir? When do you get back? Deepak Kesarkar, when does the Eknath Shinde Sena with these 38, as you claim, sir, 38 MLAs of the Shiv Sena, when do you get back to Mumbai? Do you have a roadmap and a time frame?
As soon as they recognize us as a separate group, we'll be back in Maharashtra because that is our constitutional right. When we cross two-third figure, it becomes mandatory on the speaker to give us recognition. But the kind of tactics being adopted by Shiv Sena leaders, local leaders there, trying to disqualify the elected members for not attending the meeting. Nowhere in India it has happened that for not attending meeting, people's representative is being disqualified and not given a chance of natural justice, which is their choice by the right by the constitution. So I think that those tactics, they should not add up. Then we'll have to go to the court and quash those orders. Otherwise,
so is that your next strategy? Because Narahari Jirwal, the deputy speaker, he's already issued notice for disqualification against 16 Shiv Sena MLAs as part of the Eknath Shinde camp. Point 1. Point 2, instead of Eknath Shinde, there's a new leader who's already been appointed as the legislature party leader of Shiv Sena in assembly.
His decision is going to be challenged in the court of law. He is acting like he is a constitutional authority. He should not act like a party worker. He is a constitutional authority. We have all the respect from him. If he asks for an explanation, we'll give him the explanation. But when it is two-third majority, it is clearly mentioned that we are a separate group. And if you keep our application pending, then you don't have the right to keep it like that, because everything is interlinked. You cannot disqualify people like that. And whenever such act is done anywhere in India, they are restored by the court. So,
sir, that's a very grave allegation that you level against Narahari Jirwal, the deputy speaker of the NCP. You are saying that he's working as a Karyakarta of the NCP. Is that what you're saying?
No, I have never mentioned that. He should not, and he will not, because he is a constitutional authority. He should be act like a judge and give opportunity to everybody. And whatever decision he has taken, allowing 16 people to issue whip was a wrong decision. And for that, he will have to be non-partial. We respect him and we expect justice from him. And if he don't give the justice to us, we have every right to go to the court. So there is no question of having dishonor. When you get elected as an NCP candidate, you are then the NCP candidate. But when you sit on the chair of the Honorable Speaker, your role is different.
Okay.
One cannot act like that. That is what I am telling. I am not saying that he has acted like that. That
so
is
two
the
independent
difference between
MLAs,
what I tell and what you are asking.
Okay, two independent MLAs have already have said they have no confidence in the deputy speaker. But the Shiv Sena is saying that leaders who are currently sitting in Guwahati on the orders of the Bharatiya Janata Party are like insects and rodents who are eating the party from within. Response, sir.
How you can say that we are influenced by BJP? We were speaking to the Honorable CM. He is the head of the party. If he didn't listen to us, is it our fault? We have always put forth. We have arranged for very important meetings, which Honorable CM Sahib has attended. And he could have come to any conclusion. He knew everything. In spite of that, he could not come to any conclusion. That is not my fault. I have tried my level best to see that he don't come into trouble. I have always seen to it that Shiv Sena prospers. And for that, I have number of meetings. Last 6 months, I was seeking his appointment for telling him what is happening in Maharashtra. He never gave me the appointment to a person who had fought the battle, which was dream of Balasaheb Thackerat.
So who, according to you, actually inherits the legacy of Balasaheb Thackerat, if not Uddhav Thackerat? Because Uddhav Thackerat says, I have never compromised on Hindutva. I am following a common minimum program.
See, the legacy of Balasaheb, he will have to carry because he is his son. It is his duty to do that, and we respect him because he is carrying the legacy of Balasaheb. But had Balasaheb compromised with Congress and NCP like this, he would have never. And had Balasaheb sit on this chair, he would have been never. But sitting Uddhav Sahib on CM's chair is always a pleasure for us. Why we will feel bad about it? But when he has given so much of support to NCP and Congress, why they should bent upon in finishing our party, defeating our MLAs, defeating our MPs. They want to grow their party. Okay. There are other constituencies where NCP, Shiv Sena MLAs or MPs are not there. There you can try your luck. You can put your efforts there. Why you are putting in efforts in only those areas where Shiv Sena has either MLA or MP?
Deepak Kesarkar, at this point of time, Sanjay Raut is saying, is Eknath Shinde going to become Chief Minister in an alliance with the BJP or will it be Devendra Fadnavis? If he will be number 2 man, why upset the apple cart? Because he's already number 2 man with Uddhav Thackerat as Chief Minister.
This election was fought with BJP and Sena together. What was the grievance of Sena? That you had assured us 50-50% tenure of the Honorable CM. So if your 2.5 years are over and had BJP agreed, then by this time that tenure would have been over and then Shiv Sena could have stepped into Deputy CM's post. Isn't it right? And in that case, what would have been the situation? Somebody could have occupied Deputy CM's post only if that BJP and Sena Yuti had continued in Maharashtra. That was the position which was supposed to come any day. And there were negotiations going on between BJP and Sena also. Is it not true? And then if it is true, then in that case also, Shiv Sena would have occupied Deputy CM's post after 2.5 years. Then who
is there merit in Sanjay Raut saying that you first went to Surat, then you went to Guwahati, and now you will go to Goa? All of this running around, cross-country, running around at BJP's behest will continue. Sir, do you have a roadmap? Should you not be accepted as a separate group in the state assembly, will you not go back to Maharashtra? Is that not, as the Shiv Sena, as the Uddhav Sena alleges, taking away from your right as serving your people in Maharashtra?
Of course, they are taking our right to stay in Maharashtra, to lead our constituencies. Why they should disqualify us for not attending the meeting? On the 22nd, you take out a agenda for the meeting, asking the MLAs to attend it at 5 o'clock. 12 o'clock you issue a letter. How big is Maharashtra? 3 European countries are equivalent to Maharashtra. From one end of Maharashtra, if you want to come to Mumbai, it takes minimum 14 hours. And you are well aware of this fact. These are just tactics. And is the Honorable Speaker of the House is not aware of these facts? Have we not checked that there are only 16 signatures on the letter that was supporting Mr. Chaudhary to become the leader of the party? Should he not
confirm? Enough. Deepak Kesarkar for joining me here on the news track. Many thanks. Yes.